Hey everyone, and welcome back to the final video in our beginner series. Today we're going to talk about how to rig the cardboard box that we modeled and textured in the previous videos. This is the last step to bringing our creation to life. Let's get started. First, let's jump into edit mode. We're going to select the entire bottom face of our box. Now press Shift S and choose Cursor to Selected. So back in object mode, go up to the Object menu, select Set Origin, and then Origin to 3D Cursor. Now the origin point is at the very base of the box. This means when we move or rotate the whole object, it will pivot from the bottom, which is perfect. Alright, it's time to add the bones. Press Shift A and add a single bone. In the bone properties, find the Viewport Display tab and check the box that says In Front. To make it even clearer, let's also change the display from the default shape to Stick. Now we can easily see our bone right through the mesh. Let's scale this root bone so that its height matches the height of the box. We'll also temporarily turn off the Solidify modifier just to make the next steps a little easier. Now we need to add bones for the flaps. Here's a super important tip. Make sure you are still in edit mode on the armature. Take the 3D cursor and snap it to the point where the flap should bend. Then add a new bone right there. If you add the bone in object mode, it will be a separate armature, and we need them all to be part of the same rig. Now, just rotate and scale this new bone so it fits perfectly along the flap. You can turn the Solidify modifier back on now and then just to make sure the positioning is perfect. We're going to repeat this exact process for the other 3 flaps.
Okay, since this process is identical to what we've already done, I'll just speed up the footage right here to save some time.
Once all 4 flap bones are in place, we need to connect them to the main root bone. To do this, select all 4 flap bones first, then hold Shift and select the root bone last. Now press Ctrl and P to open the parenting menu and choose Keep Offset. Let's test it. Go into pose mode. If you move the root bone now, look at that! All the other bones follow along perfectly. Our basic skeleton is set up correctly. The next step is to connect this skeleton to our actual box mesh. In object mode, select the box first, then hold Shift and select the armature. Press Ctrl P again, but this time choose the option with empty groups. This links the rig to the mesh and creates vertex groups for each bone, but leaves them empty for us to assign manually. Now for the most important part, weight painting. This tells the mesh which parts should move with which bones. You can click on a bone's name to select it. With a bone selected, switch to edit mode. Select all the vertices that should move with that bone. For example, for the root bone, we'll select everything except the top flaps. With those vertices selected, go to the Vertex Group panel, make sure the correct bones group is selected, and click the Assign button. Now let's head back to weight paint mode. We're going to do the same thing for the flaps. Select a flat bone, go into edit mode, select all the vertices of just that flap, and assign them to the corresponding vertex group. Here's another key tip. Be careful not to assign a vertex that's between 2 flaps to both flap bones.
We're doing this the same way we did earlier, so we'll just do this part a bit quicker.
Okay, let's finish weight painting the rest of the flaps. Now that everything is painted, let's test it in pose mode. Uh-oh. See how when we rotate a flap, some of the vertices between the flaps get left behind and create this distorted look? That's a classic weight painting issue, but it's an easy fix. All we have to do is go back into edit mode, select those problem vertices that were left behind, and assign them to the main root bone. Okay, let's try it again. Perfect, everything is fixed. We can now move and rotate our box and its flaps exactly how we want. We're almost done. For the final touch, let's make this rig easier to use with custom controller shapes. Right now, selecting these tiny bones can be a pain. First, let's add an empty cube to our scene. Now, go into pose mode, select the root bone, and in the bone properties under Viewport Display, you'll see a custom object field. Select the empty cube we just created. Now we can scale that cube shape to fit our box perfectly. It's a much bigger, easier target to click. For the flaps, let's create a custom arrow shape. Add a plane, edit it to look like a directional arrow, and then delete only its face so we're left with just the edges. Now assign that arrow shape as the custom object for one of the flap bones, just like we did before. I'll add another little part to it just to make it look cooler. Now we can just duplicate this arrow shape 3 more times and assign each one to the remaining flap bones. Since this process is identical to what we've already done, I'll just speed up the footage right here to save some time. Once everything is connected, we can move all of our custom shape objects into a new collection and just hide it. And look at that, a clean, professional-looking rig.
Finally, we apply the solidify modifier like this.
And that's it. We have successfully modeled, textured, and rigged our cardboard box from scratch. I really hope you learned something valuable from this tutorial series. If you have any questions at all, please ask me in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.